All right, welcome into the season finale of That's Deep. I'm Tommy Z, joined as always by Johnny Bravo. Johnny, it's been a long year. It's been a fun year, although it kind of went by pretty quick, if you ask me. What are you thinking? How are your thoughts going into this last card here?
Yeah, long year, lot of fights, a lot of tape, a lot of work. Um, just it's kind of sad that it's the last card, but also it's kind of good. Kind of think need a little 3 weeks to get a little
Yeah,
refresh and a little break,
yeah,
is can relax the mind a little bit.
absolutely.
Um, and yeah, this one should be interesting.
Yeah, it's a decent card. Not a bad way to end the year. I think there's some money to be made, so it should be a good one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a few weeks off here. First 2 weeks probably feel great. After the third week, I'll probably be ready to get back into action. But of course, we've
Yeah,
got
it'll probably take me a week, and then the Saturday I'll be like, "Fuck, we don't have any
yeah,
fights, man."
exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah. 1 week's nice. 2 weeks like okay, and then I'm ready to roll again. So, but we've got the shortest off season of all the sports, so we can't complain too much. All right. So with that
yep.
said, we've got 13 fights on the docket here. We'll jump right into it. First fight on the card. Got Josephine Knutson taking on Piera Rodriguez, women's strawweight fight. Knutson is 8-0, taking on Rodriguez 9-2. She's on a bit of a skid here. She got disqualified in her last fight. She was looking good in that fight, but you know, didn't go. The headbutts are not the way to win fights. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like Knudsen. I mean, she seems like she's a good young prospect. I mean, great striking. I mean, her grappling is a little bit, her takedown defense is a little bit suspect, but I mean, she's got good takedowns on her own right a little bit. She trains out that Hamzat gym. Kind of the Hamzat protege. Good striking, but the takedown defense and the cardio is kind of a question. I think the line is. I think Knudsen should be the favorite, but the line is probably kind of wide. I mean, I think Rodriguez. I mean, in her last fight, she was doing well, and I don't know. It was just terrible fight IQ. She just kept headbutting her. It didn't make any sense. You know, uh, Carnelossi was kind of looking for a way out. She was down probably 2-0 there. So,
Definitely.
it's
Yeah.
Rodriguez, she's got decent striking, some little pop in her hands for what it's worth at this division. I think the line is probably kind of wide. I think Piera can make it kind of greasy, and maybe if she can get some takedowns and make it kind of greasy and make it on the feet, I think it's nuts and all day. But I think
Yeah.
if Rodriguez can mix in the grappling, she can make it close. Um, Yeah, maybe a split here, but yeah, I'm thinking Nixon probably by decision, probably most likely. I think she gets the job done.
Yeah, this one's tough for me. I mean, because Knutson on the feet, man, she's awesome. She's really good. And if this fight stays standing, she wins this fight 10 out of 10 times. But if she gets taken down, it gets interesting. Rodriguez definitely has good takedowns. She's got decent control. She doesn't have the greatest of control, but she was showing good control on the ground last fight. I have no idea why she was headbutting like that. That was absolutely insane. And Carnelosi definitely was looking for a way out because though that second headbutt was not a fight ending headbutt, but she was cooked and she knew it. So it sucks for Rodriguez, man. She was going to win that fight. She was going to win it in dominant fashion. Um, she's not a bad fighter. She's good in the clinch. Her grappling's good, but she might be a bit of a head case. So you just don't know what you're going to get from her fight IQ wise. Um, yeah, I agree with you, man. Knutson probably she should be the favorite here. I do think the line is pretty wide, and you know there could be some live opportunities here with Pereira if she gets the fight. If it's competitive, like I think it's going to be, there could be some live betting opportunities. But I'll agree with you. I think Knudsen gets the job done. I think she's just a better fighter. But it's definitely a sketchy one for sure.
Cat's going wild over there, man.
Yeah, she's pulling clothes out of the laundry room. Our next fight is in the bantamweight division. We've got Davy Grant taking on Ramon Tavares. This is a pretty good fight here, I think. Davy Grant, he's getting a little long in the tooth. Tavares came in. He's looked pretty decent in his first couple fights in the UFC. Saw him get knocked out quick on the Contender Series, but he made up for that in his last fight, getting his revenge. Good one here. I think it's a good striking battle. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is going to be probably two guys standing in the pocket and probably trading, until someone falls, But we do have the new gloves in here, so it's these guys are going to stand there and trade. They're both strikers. That's what they want to do. Davy Grant getting up there in age. He's 38, 39 years old. He's been off for over a year. I think he had some injuries he was dealing with, maybe a surgery or two. I just don't know what to make of an aging fighter just going through multiple surgeries and injuries, and how's he going to bounce back here off the layoff? I mean, he's a grimy guy. I mean, he's going to stand there in the pocket. He's tough. He's going to fight for your money, And Tavares kind of, good boxing, good power in his hands, but I mean, he's pretty hittable in there in the pocket. I mean, because he throws and then he's there to be countered. This is a tough one for me. Earlier in the week, I kind of leaned Tavares just because of the Grant age difference and but I think I don't know, man. I think Davy Grant's live here. I'm going to lean with the Grant side to get the job done here and just be the more grimy veteran and land some big shots and maybe knock out Tavares. We've seen him kind of got hurt in this last fight. He went to war with City. City was hurting him. He did drop City a couple times, which showed his power in the pocket. But I mean, he was getting hit with some big shots. It's gonna. I think the pick's gonna be Grant for me right now, as of now. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I think if Grant wins, it probably is by knockout. He definitely has knockout power, and he has the ability to win this fight by knockout. I'm rolling with Tavares just because of the youth thing. I mean, Davy Grant turns 39 sometime this month. I think his birthday's like the 18th or something like that. He's turning 39 soon. Definitely older. Generally speaking, older fighters, bantamweight division, lighter weight classes don't really do too well. But if he wins this fight by knockout, I would not be shocked in any stretch. He's definitely a junkyard dog. He's never been knocked out. He's going to bring the fight. He's willing to stand and trade for 3 rounds. He's not scared. So, yeah, it's definitely a competitive fight. Grant is absolutely live in this one. I'm going to roll with the younger fighter, but I'm not going to invest too much into this one. I think it's going to be a good fight, a fun fight, and we see what happens. All right, our next fight is another one that, honestly, I think the line is way, way too wide. We've got Miranda Maverick taking on Jamie Lynn Horth. Maverick's a good fighter, but I mean, she's minus 500 at this point. I don't. That's tough for me to get there. I bet Horth the plus 3.5. I think she could easily win a round. It was plus 120, plus 120, plus 130. So I bet that. I do think Miranda Maverick probably should win this fight, but I think it's going to be competitive. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, line is kind of, laying minus 585 on Miranda Maverick in 2024. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a winning recipe. She's a decent fighter, but I mean, it's women's MMA, so it's like really never know, like in these what the judges are seeing.
Right.
She's got good grappling. She's got, but sometimes she just kind of is like a plate. Like, she's shit the bed as a big favorite before.
Yeah.
It's just, but I just don't see Horth as being a girl to give her any trouble. I think Maverick should probably win it easy, but do I want to lay minus 585? No. I mean, Horth, we've seen her. I mean, we bet her live in the last fight on the show. Um, she's really not good anywhere. I mean, I think Maverick could easily get takedowns here. I don't see Horth being able to secure any takedowns on Maverick, and on the feet. Uh, she's Horth is kind of low volume, so it's kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the line, and it's women's MMA. I mean, the 3.5 is always in play. Maybe she can steal around, but I think Maverick probably wins, probably by decision. But yeah, this is not one I'm running to bet and lay minus 580 on Maverick.
Yeah. I mean, I think Maverick wins the fight, but to think that Horth can't win a round, I just think she can. Her grappling's, I mean, on paper, statistically, they're kind of similar. Horth is much bigger. She's 4 inches taller. So that always makes things interesting. I think it could be close enough to where Horth can win a round. And at plus 120, I think it was either 120 or 130 I bet it at. I think she can. I
Yeah,
think she.
but also level of competition too that Maverick's been facing has been better,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Veronica
For sure.
Veronica Hardy was taking down Horth pretty,
Yeah.
I think she got
No,
a couple
that's
takedowns in that fight,
absolutely true. And I could
So
definitely burn a unit on this fight, but I just don't see another. I don't see another way that I would want to bet it. I guess you could bet Maverick by decision, but even then, you're not getting a good price. It's not really worth it. Yeah, I just don't think there's much value. I think the only
yeah,
value on this fight is the plus 3.5. Um, that's it for me. But yeah, I think it's going to be an ugly fight. They're both kind of low volume. Neither one of them's a finisher. So Adelaide Bird, do your job and give me the plus 3.5. That's all I can say. But we'll move on. That's not one I want to dwell on too long. Next fight is in the featherweight division. We have Miles Johns taking on Felipe Lima. Lima made his debut on short notice in his last fight, fighting at featherweight, normally a bantamweight. Both guys actually normally a bantamweight. Lima looked really good. John's a guy. He's a tough out. He's got solid power, solid wrestling. Overall, pretty good, well-rounded fighter. Cardio, sometimes can be an issue, but overall, he's lost 2 times. He's a good fighter. I think this is a good fight, fun fight. Lima looks really good coming into it. What are your thoughts here?
yeah, I like this Lima kid. He's got good striking, good pace, good grappling, good submissions. I think he's pretty well rounded. I mean, pretty explosive. Yeah, I like what I see from the kid. I think he's got some potential he could put some wins together in the UFC against some of these guys. Yeah, I like his pace and his pressure. He kind of looked kind of tired in his last fight, but he just kind of pushed through it and still got the finish.
Yeah,
And Miles Johns just kind of one of these. I mean, not too explosive. Not. Yeah, his striking, his volume isn't all that, but he's got good power in his hands. He's more of a wrestler, so he's going to want to kind of push you up on the cage and make it grimy, make it his fight. He's moving up in weight. He's. I don't know. I can't trust Miles Johns. I just think Lima is just better everywhere. Just faster, more explosive guy. And if Johns goes to takedowns, I think Lima could probably sweep him and get his back or something. Miles Johns really doesn't have a neck, so it might be hard for Lima to choke him. that would be a concern. But I mean, I think this is Lima inside the distance for me. You know, I can't trust Miles Johns. I'm just not a Miles Johns guy. I'm not a fan. He's popped for steroids before. I'm just not a Miles Johns guy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big Miles Johns guy either. It's burned me in the past. He's, he finds ways to win these fights, but everything I've seen from this Lima kid, he just looks like the real deal. Like I said, he took that fight, his debut on very short notice. Yeah, he slowed down a little bit, but he still was there to finish the fight late, and he seemed like he had all the energy. So full fight camp, full well-rounded skills. His striking is explosive. His grappling is good. He's opportunistic. I think the kid's really good. I think this is a fight I feel pretty confident that I can actually fade Miles Johns and win a bet. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with Lima here. I just think the kid's better everywhere. I know Johns has good wrestling, but I don't think that is going to make much of a difference in this fight. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with the kid on this one. All right, our next fight is in the featherweight division. We have Sean Woodson taking on Fernando Padilla. Very similar size. These guys are usually the taller guy in all their fights. Both guys right around 6'1", 6'2". That featherweight is absolutely crazy. Both guys good strikers, opportunistic with the grappling, but I don't think we're going to see much grappling in this one. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, these two guys are kind of a mirror image. Woodson's always, he's got good boxing, likes to use his jab, stay at range. He's good on the feet, good boxing, and he's not going to want to grapple. That's not really his game. So he's more of a boxer on the feet. Yeah, I'm not really. I don't know. Sean Woodson has never really I'm never really impressed me that much. I don't know. He's winning these fights and he's looking decent, but I don't know. Just never really a guy I can really get behind.
Yeah.
And Padilla. I mean, the Kyle Nelson fight wasn't the best look. He was he kind of fell into his game plan and just sat back and just waited and really didn't do much. But his other fights, I mean, he's going out there. He's piecing these guys up. He's keeping them at range. He's got good power in his hands, strike. I think he's got the grappling advantage here. I think he's definitely got the submission advantage here. I mean, he can cinch up a sub. He's got those long arms. Yeah, and at the dog money, I think I got to roll with Padilla here to get the job done over Sean Woodson. I'm on the Padilla side.
I'm right there with you, man. Padilla, historically, he's a finisher. Sean Woodson's a decision machine. Both guys throw pretty decent volume. Both guys get hit around the same amount. But honestly, I think Woodson could be a little bit chinny. We saw him get cracked. I think it was against Saldana. It was a while ago. It was 3 or 4 fights ago for him, but that was a fight he clearly could have lost by knockout. I think it was an illegal knee or something like that.
No, he got dropped, and Saldana walked off like he won the fight. But
was that what it was?
The referee, Saldana dropped him, rocked him, didn't follow up, walked away, and then
So that's what it was. I in my head I thought he had landed like an illegal knee or something like that kind of restarted the fight. No. But he got dropped twice in that fight. I know he got dropped because I was on Woodson that night and I was like, I'm dead. I thought I was dead. And then Woodson was able to manage a draw. But I just feel like I think he could be a little bit chinny. His size really makes it tough for a lot of guys in the division. His boxing is really good. There's no denying that. But I think this fight, a guy that's his size, same kind of skill set, who is a finisher, I think Padilla can get the job done here, and at dog money, I think it's worth it all day long to play Padilla. So
Yep.
we will agree on that dog.
Let's go.
All right, that moves us to our next fight in the lightweight division. We have Joel Alvarez taking on Drakkar Close. Both guys, pretty skilled. Close is he's got pretty solid power, pretty decent takedown defense, kind of well rounded. Alvarez, very dangerous everywhere. His submissions are insane. He does not shoot for takedowns, but he often wins by submission. Good fight. I think this is going to be one of the more exciting fights on the card. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a crazy fight. I mean, every Alvarez fight, he's won every fight. I think he's won every fight inside the distance. Guy's a
Yeah.
finisher. I mean, he's got good striking on the feet. He's an opportunistic grappler. Like you said, he doesn't really shoot takedowns, but if somebody tries to take him down, or he's got a good front headlock. He can grab up a guillotine. He's got submissions everywhere. He's good everywhere. Um, yeah, and Drakkar Close, I don't know, aging fighter. I don't know what to make of him. I mean, he looked good in this last fight. He got a nice slam knockout. Yeah, but I just worry about the durability. A few years ago, he got that Jeremy Stevens injury where, he got pushed at the weigh-ins, and his whole, he was out for 2 years because of his neck. He had a whiplash in his neck, which is, never but coming back from that, I mean, he has looked pretty good. He's put a couple wins together. Yeah, I think you bet Alvarez inside the distance and hope that he gets him out of there. Because I mean, I don't really. Maybe Close can make it. Maybe Close can make it close if if he can, maybe push him up on the cage and kind of make it grimy, But I just think the power and just the viciousness of Alvarez. I mean, I think eventually he probably catches him or locks up a sub.
Yeah, I agree. I like Alvarez. I think he's very good. He's nasty with his elbows. He can catch a sub from anywhere. You take him down, he'll sub you. Standing, he can grab something. He can grab a guillotine, anything. Very dangerous fighter. Very underrated fighter, I think. He's lost to Sarukian, and I forget. 4 or 5 years ago,
he's just not active enough. He's just not active enough for him.
But he is extremely dangerous. He's an absolute savage. Dangerous knees, dangerous elbows, very good. Just he can find a finish at any point in any fight. And I think Close is a good fighter. He's tough guy. He's very well skilled, but I think Alvarez catches him with something. He can hurt him. I think he hurts him, club and sub type deal. But yeah, I think Alvarez inside the distance is the way to go here. All right, our next fight is in the lightweight division. We have Michael Johnson taking on Otman Azaitar. Azaitar, I don't know if he's a UFC caliber guy at this point. Michael Johnson, he's been winning a lot of fights in dominant fashion, and he finds a way to lose. But I don't know. I feel pretty good about Michael Johnson getting the job done here. What are your thoughts?
I will not bet Michael Johnson. I will not bet Michael Johnson. I will not bet Michael Johnson. Guy's kind of like the biggest. I mean, he's got all the skills. The guy's well-rounded. We've seen him. He's starting Dustin Poirier, and he's had some big wins early on in his career. But now he's just he seems to be alternating wins, loss. He could be guy could be winning the fight, and then all of a sudden, bang, he's not winning the fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the tough way to get. I can't get to a Michail Johnson minus 200. Do I think he wins? Probably. I mean, Azaitar. I mean, this guy. I don't know. This guy's a sketchy guy. I mean, I don't know. He got popped in during COVID, trying to sneak a bag into his brother or some shit, or I don't really know the whole story behind it, but he said there were potatoes in the bag and just some real weird shit. They cut
Weird
him and then
shit.
they brought him back, and this. I mean, the guy is a finisher. I mean, he's got decent boxing. He's got power in his hands. I just don't think he's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he can catch Johnson because it wouldn't surprise me if he caught Johnson early with something. It wouldn't. And you're
Right.
sitting there. Johnson's winning, and then all of a sudden, bang! He catches him. Yeah, I'm gonna lean Michael Johnson here to get the job done, but I'll probably be taking unders. I like unders here. Under 2.5. Fight doesn't go. Yeah, I'll probably be parlaying that up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Zaitar, his win equity is 100% finish, and I think Johnson could honestly finish this dude in the first round. I think you could put him out. I don't think he's got much of a chance.
And if a Zaytar, he's probably got 1 round of cardio in him. So, I mean, if he,
Right.
unloads the tank and just, cardio dumps, then I think I could see Johnson finishing him for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, skill for skill, Michael Johnson is levels above this guy. But, like we've said, Michael Johnson's been winning a lot of fights, and then the next thing you know, he's losing. Now, a lot of that has been against higher level guys. So, you can't necessarily say that's going to be the case here. But I just think Michael Johnson's head and shoulders better than this kid. I think he could probably put him out in the first round. But either way, yeah, if you're looking to bet unders in this fight, absolutely. I think Zaitar has to win inside the distance to win this fight because skill wise, there's no way he's winning 3 rounds or 2 out of 3 rounds against Michael Johnson. I just don't see it. So yeah, I like violence in this one. I think Michael Johnson probably just puts him out early, but unders is the way to go for sure.
Yeah, Michael Johnson minus 200.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough sell.
Oof.
All right, our next fight is in the light heavyweight division. We have Navajo Sterling taking on Tuco Tokos. Tokos absolutely just took his debut on short notice, got run through. Sterling making his UFC debut here. Good kickboxer from the city kickboxing team. Izzy Adesanya, Dan Hooker. You got the crew over there. Olberg, Kaikara, all of them. Good gym. Tukos comes from a good gym as well, but I don't know, man. In his debut, he said 3 times to his corner, he's breathing heavier than me. And it's just like, dude, you're getting out grappled and you're getting destroyed. Like, who cares if he's breathing heavier than you? And then he got choked out. Obviously, I don't think that's going to be the case here against Sterling. Sterling's going to want to stand and trade. He's a kickboxer. That's what he does. Who knows what to make of Tukos after his debut. But we've got to break it down. So what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like this Sterling kid. I mean, his striking is, we've seen him on the Contender Series. I mean, striking looks good. I mean, he is new to MMA, coming in from kickboxing. I think he only has 5 fights, So that might be a slight concern, just the experience in the octagon, But, I mean, the guy's skill set is undeniable. I mean, you see, all his striking is pretty good, he's still a young fighter, so obviously he's going to make improvements and get better. He's out of that city kickboxing gym training with all those good guys, so he's making improvements every day. And this Tuco Tokos guy I think he sucks. I don't think he's very good. I think this is a nice layup for Sterling. It's Navajo Sterling by knockout, Navajo Sterling by murder. So minus 700, so you're probably going to have to get creative. So yeah, but I think he runs right through this guy pretty easily.
I agree. I don't think it's
I don't see
close.
where Tuco's is good really anywhere. Maybe maybe the his experience, can maybe, but I just don't see it. I think Sterling's gonna catch him,
Yeah.
put him away.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a guy that trains with the likes of Brendan Allen, and he took a fight on short notice, so he's getting another fight in the UFC for that reason. But this is probably the last time we see him in the UFC. I don't think he's UFC material.
Oh, he was a favorite, like minus like 600 favorite against the Chinese guy Min Jiang Yang on the road to UFC and got flatlined too.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
well, you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not sold on this guy. Not sold on him.
yeah, yeah.
All right, we'll move on. We've got in the bantamweight division, Adrian Yanez taking on Daniel Marcos. Marcos undefeated. Pretty solid, well-rounded guy. Adrian Yanez, very, very good boxing, dangerous finisher. Takes a lot of damage in his fights, which 2023 kind of caught up to him. He did bounce back with a win recently. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I had high hopes for this Giannis kid. His boxing was really good. I mean, I thought he was going to be able to be a legitimate contender, but I don't know. He's still young. I guess he could still make his way up and make improvements, but I don't know. It seems like every time he steps up in competition, he gets caught and gets put away.
Yeah.
I haven't liked what I've seen. I mean, the level of competition he's beating Tony Kelly and I forget who he fought in his last fight, but
I think it was Salvador.
yeah, Vinicius Salvador. Yeah, see,
Vinicius
like those
Salvador.
guys he's beating, and then he's fighting these step up in competitions, and Jonathan Martinez and I think it was Dan Ige, right? Put him away, or was it Rob Font?
Rob Font.
I
Rob
get
Font.
I get those guys mixed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got put away by those guys, and I like Marcos. Marcos is a good. I mean, he's a good striker. He's pretty good everywhere. He's coming out of that Peruvian camp. These guys got cardio for days. Um, he's a good fighter, crisp striking. It's just sometimes he kind of like maybe he's a little bit too low volume and kind of stands there a little bit too long. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think once he gets it going and if he's throwing some volume, I think he can give Giannis some problems here and potentially knock him out. I think Marcos is on that fringe of like getting up, like being a factor here in this division. Yeah, I like Marcos maybe by decision, but it wouldn't surprise me if he puts him away. So probably Marcos is a parlay piece for me because he can win a decision or a knockout. I think so. Yeah, Marcos for me.
Yeah, it's tough to really tell because Yanez is tough. We have seen him finished, but he does take a lot of damage, so that's an issue. He's very skilled. I mean, when he gets his boxing going, he's a problem.
Oh yeah, Giannis is a great boxer. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess the main thing is we're gonna need to see Marcos put some volume out there because if he's not and it's somewhat close, Yanez can do what he does and put up decent volume and outpoint him. But yeah, I mean, Marcos is a very good striker. He's never been beaten. So a guy like Yanez who takes a lot of damage, that could be a problem. He just keeps getting hit too much. Good competitive fight. I agree. I think Marcos probably is the side here, but I'm not overly comfortable with it. I think Yanez, if he gets going, can be a problem. It just all depends on how much he gets hit and what it looks like. But I will say, even in his win, the last fight he had that he did get a win. I just didn't think he looked like the same guy. I thought he looked a little soft. Um, I don't know. Maybe the damage has caught up to him already. He's a young guy, but he gets hit so much.
And like he didn't even attempt to check a leg kick against Jonathan Martinez, which is like, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
you're just gonna let this guy beat your legs up, like.
There's a lot of holes in his game, and yeah, it's tough to see him shoring them all up. But yeah, I mean, Marcos is undefeated for a reason, and I agree. I think he's probably the side here. I just minimized my screen here. Hold on one. Let me get this. Here we go. All right. Our next fight is in the light heavyweight division. We have Vitor Petrino taking on Dustin Jacoby. I'm not a fan of either one of these guys. Petrino, a decent sized favorite here. I don't know. I guess. What are your thoughts on this one? But I think this is a stay away from me.
The line is just way too wide. I mean, Petrino at almost like minus like 350 is kind of crazy, seeing as he did get subbed in his last fight by Anthony Smith, who just retired, which was a terrible look. And then that Tyson Pedro fight, I mean, you can't finish that guy. And that guy's getting takedowns, and that guy's standing up from your top control. And I mean, that was just a terrible performance, But then Jacoby is like another guy, like I was kind of high on, and then he's taking a lot of damage, man. He's just, he's a tough guy, but he's just, I mean, you can only take so much, Yeah, he wears it. I mean, he's a good kickboxer, good striker, but he's 36 years old and just a lot of damage. The Menafield fight, he won on volume, but got dropped like in almost every round. Lost that fight. Last fight got starched. I mean, it's just. I thought I might want to take a shot on Jacoby just because I don't think Petrino is very good, and I think the line is just way too wide. But then again, I mean, and Petrino's cardio is pretty shit too, so he's probably got 2 rounds in him. So this is a tough one. I mean, I'm gonna think Petrino gets it done, maybe by sub. That's sort of the way I was looking at maybe playing it. Maybe a Petrino by sub. Maybe he gets a takedown and then can get it lock in a sub or something on Jacoby. Jacoby the kickboxer probably doesn't want to be on the ground. So yeah, I mean maybe a Petrino sub. That's where I would play it. But other than that, I thought about Jacoby, but I just another one. The line's too wide.
Yeah. I mean,
all these favorites are just juiced way too wide. They're leaving you with no options. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough. This is one I think I'm probably gonna just stay away from because I don't know. I really don't. Jacoby has the striking skills. He can make it happen, but he just has not looked good. He's been getting cracked and I don't know. I just don't think either guy's very good. So at this point, to me, as of right now, it's going to be a fade for both guys.
Yep.
Well, we'll move on. Our next fight is in the flyweight division. We have a pretty good one here. Manel Kopp taking on Bruno Silva. Kopp was in one of the most boring fights we've seen this year. Generally speaking, he's a pretty decent fighter. He's a finisher. But, that last fight just was no good. Bruno Silva's always in a good fight. He's competitive. He's well-rounded. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Manel Kopp. I mean, his last fight, I mean, the terrible performance. I mean, just not. He never like my concern is he never like his volume is just so terrible. You know what I mean? He doesn't
Yeah,
throw like some. He's just sits there and he stares at you. Doesn't really let his hands go. You know, he's shown when he lets his hands go, he can be explosive and catch some highlight reel knockouts. But it's against what kind of guys that It seems like when he fights
right.
these tougher guys that he's scared to do anything and he just sits there and doesn't throw any volume. He's frustrating. You bet on him and you're like, come on, dude, throw your hands, let your hands go. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I had high hopes for him. I mean, I just don't know. I just really don't know what to make after that Makaev fight. I mean, it was just you get the fight you want against the grappler, and you just don't let your hands go. It's just, I mean, I just don't know. I guess he had like an injury in the fight. I think he broke his toe or something. But still, I mean, he
yeah,
got to go out and push through that, man. He just and this is another one -400. Like how? How is this guy
right.
-400 against Bruno Silva?
Yeah,
Bruno Silva's a good fighter. Bruno Silva is a tough kid. We've seen in the Durden fight. Durden was walking forward, throwing bombs, and fucking he ate some shots. It wasn't looking good, but he still came back. He fought back. He caught Durden, put him away. He's got power in his
yeah,
hands. I think, you know. I mean, I just like I can't. I mean, I think Cop probably wins just because he's. But it's like I can't -400. There's not really much you could do,
right.
and he could knock Bruno Silva out, but it's just hard for me to bet on Manel Cop at -400. I don't know. I think he
Yeah,
wins. Maybe I don't know how I'm going to get to it, but I gotta think more on this one because you know, yeah, I just don't know how I'm going to bet Cop or if I'm going to bet him or I don't know.
yeah, I agree. I think Cop wins, but I don't know how to bet this one. All right, our next fight is in the featherweight division. We have Cub Swanson taking on Billy Quarantillo. Cub Swanson kind of at the end of the road. Billy Q has not really looked overly impressive. Since 2020, he's rotated wins and losses. So as we speak, he should be in line for a win. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Cub Swanson, the grimy vet, 41 years old, been in the UFC forever, fought the who's who. Um, he's getting up there in age. I mean, this might be his last one. Who knows? 41 years old. He might, it's getting up there. I mean, he's a pretty good striker, well-rounded in his day. Tough guy. Likes to go to war. But it's how much can he take that much damage anymore? That's the real question. The durability.
Yeah,
Um, when these aging fighters, I mean, it could be their chin. You could think they're there, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's just gone. Um,
yeah,
yeah, and I think the end of the road is coming soon for Cub. And Billy is another one of these flaky guys, man. He's got all the skills. It's just he puts it all together when he wants to, kind of. Sometimes he looks good, sometimes he looks like crap. So,
right.
like you said, he alternates his wins and losses. He's kind of like the Michael Johnson type, kind of flaky guy. Um, yeah, but I just think Cub 41. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank. I think Billy's going to be able to just put the pace on him, put the volume on him, and probably win a decision. Yeah, it's Billy for me, Billy by decision.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing I worry about with Billy Q at this point is getting hurt early in fights. But Cub does have some power, but at this point in his career, he's not really that kind of guy to just come out and just overwhelm guys. And as fights go longer, Billy Q generally gets better. He kind of picks up the
Yeah, he
pace late.
usually loses that first round or gets hurt in that first round, and then round two and round three usually he's able to use his cardio and
Yeah.
turn it on.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at here. So I like Billy Q. I don't know what to expect with Cub. He's up there in age. I could see him getting finished, but I could also see it being a relatively competitive 3 rounds, and Billy Q kind of squeaking one out. So I like Billy here. It's just tough. Again, Cub Swanson at a small weight class, just up in age. That generally doesn't pan out very well for these guys. So yeah, Billy Q for me. But I think it could be interesting. I think it could be a decent fight overall. I don't know what Cub has left in the tank. All right, so that'll bring us to our main event. We've got Colby Chaos Covington returning. It's been a while since we've seen him taking on Joaquin Buckley, who's just kind of been on a tear. It seems like we got two guys going in opposite directions here. Colby, I don't know how much longer he's going to want to be fighting. He's fought the best of the best. He's been right around the top of the division for quite some time. Joaquin Buckley, will be his sixth fight at welterweight in the UFC. He's 5-0 so far. He's looked really good. He looked pretty solid at 185. Moving down just seems like the natural weight class for him. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, how much is Colby's heart in this still?
Yeah.
He's fought for the title multiple times. He's lost it. Lost his opportunity. This his little like persona or whatever is just cringe. It's like, he looked terrible in the Leon Edwards fight. That was just such a horrible performance. He didn't really shoot any takedowns. He couldn't hold Leon down. He actually got taken down in that fight. He looked kind of tired after round one. He was huffing and puffing. He looked like, he's taking this fight on 4 weeks' notice. Buckley was supposed to fight Gary, and then Gary stepped in and fought Shavkat. So he's taking this on 4 weeks' notice. How much is he really, going to be able to prepare for this on 4 weeks and step in here, against a young, up and coming guy like Buckley? That was always the knock on Covington. He's always fighting, like trying to fight for the title. No, you got to go down and you got to fight these younger guys up and coming. Well, now he's going to fight him, and I think Buckley's momentum is just. I mean, he seemed to have made some adjustments in his game, and and he's looked really good in his last 2 fights. I mean, he put Wonderboy Thompson away. He's looked pretty good. He's got power in his hands. He's got decent wrestling. Is he going to be able to take Covington down? Probably not. But I mean, I think if he keeps it on the feet, I think it's Buckley all day. And is Covington? Can Covington shoot and get takedowns? Maybe. But I mean, he didn't even look to shoot against Leon. So that's my worry. Is that cardio pace monster that we're known. Covington is just not that guy anymore. He's just, he's taken a lot of damage in there. Kamaru Usman snapped his jaw in half, and then even the damage outside of the octagon where, Jorge Masvidal smashed his teeth out. That's got to affect you,
Yeah.
So, I think this is Buckley, and I think Buckley honestly, I think Colby's probably cooked. He's probably done. I'm just not a Covington guy. I've never really been a Covington guy to begin with. And then now just everything that's going against him here, he was, a month, like what was he doing that month before he got the notice to come fight? He was, speaking at Donald Trump rallies and campaigning for him. So it's like, how much is he was he in the gym working and training and getting ready, Yeah, I think this is Buckley, and I think Buckley probably catches him and puts him away. I think probably like a Buckley round 2 KO, I think. That's my guess, my prediction. But yeah, ultimately, I think Buckley puts him away.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's tough. Colby just doesn't look like he's what he used to be. I mean, he was a good fighter at one point. Pretty good pace, pretty good, great cardio, obviously. Never really had a lot of power, so just put that volume on people. But I just don't think that's a winning game plan against Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley's cardio is outstanding. His power is very good. His grappling's good. Even if he gets taken down, he's going to scramble. Colby's not a submission type guy, so you can take some chances trying to get back to your feet. Yeah, just seems like Buckley.
The one knock on Buckley was kind of his chin, right? At one point, right? He was getting caught and he was getting knocked out,
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to have any heat coming back from Colby here on the feet. So
no,
I think he's going to be able to do what he wants pretty much without any worries.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Colby's not known for power. He simply does not have it. And, and Buckley, he got knocked out by Kevin Holland at 185. Kevin Holland's a guy that's known for knocking people out. Chris Curtis, a lot of power. These aren't slubs at 185, a weight class above. These are guys that have legitimate power. So, even though he's been finished a couple of times, you can't really knock Buckley's chin all that much. I mean, he really probably shouldn't have been fighting at 185 to begin with. So, yeah, I don't think there's any risk of him getting knocked out here. Colby's not really a submission type guy. Can Colby just out wrestle him and out grind him for 5 rounds? I suppose. But we haven't seen that. It just doesn't seem to be. That doesn't seem to be a possibility at this point anymore. So, yeah, I like Buckley here, and I do think he could probably get a finish as well. Because honestly, I don't know where Colby's at. I don't know what kind of heart he has anymore. And if he loses this one in dramatic fashion, I don't know if we ever see him fight again. I could see him walking away. So
I mean, he took a whole year off, and then now he's coming back. Yeah, I think if he loses this one, we might never see Colby fight again.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, we like Buckley here. I guess we look forward to the weekend. As always, we got the Thursday night football coming up. We've got college football playoffs going on. It's going to be a fun weekend here at Nuke the House. So obviously, if you're not a member, sign up. It's the best value you can get. $60 a month is absolutely a steal. And we have fun. The live shows are fun. We have a good time. So sign up, get involved, and let's win together. But I suppose that's it. We can wrap it up. Unless you've got anything else to add, I think we're good to go.
Good luck. Good luck on your bets. Have a happy new year. And we'll be back next year. We're ready to go. So
all right. With that said, good luck this weekend. Let's cash some tickets. We're out.